In this session, we're going to take a look on how to grant people access to a folder on the WebFOCUS reporting server. So actually, in here, I want to add and connect to Excel files that reside on the WebFOCUS reporting server. So I can select Excel here. And in here, being an admin, I can navigate the file system actually in here. So I can go to the C drive or the E drive and navigate through the elements, but I don't want regular users to be able to navigate the file system. So therefore, I'm making a change as an administrator to the configuration. So I'm going to go over to the application folders. And actually in here, I turned on inactive directories as well, so I can see folders in here. In case you don't see it, go to Manage. In here, go to Preferences, and there you can turn on inactive directories in your display list. I'm going to keep it on for now. So I want to add something new. So I want to add a new application directory in here. So actually, I want to go in here, but I don't want to create a new folder. I want to map an existing folder somewhere on the hard drive. So that's going to be my Excel files. Oops, typo. No, typing my Excel files. I can add some nice description here. Whatever I want to. I can map it to an existing application, or I can create a new one actually. So again, mapping physical location in here. That physical location is going to be my C drive on the machine. So in here, I'm going to select the folder that holds my files, which is actually on the C drive. Let me scroll through them so you see all the folders on the C drive. Let me check on that machine. So actually on the C drive, let me see. Oh, I didn't put a new folder in here. So let me create a new folder. So that's my Excel files. So I want to get to files in that folder. So actually in here, I'm going to move a few Excel files in there. So we're going to be able to see it. So if you want to test, there's a few files that you can steal from here. So in here, you're going to see there's a bunch of Excel sheets that we can steal actually. So we're going to put them on C, my Excel files. So to get people access to those folder, and it was folder and files actually. So you can now navigate in here. So in here, we just created that new folder. So in here, we might want to refresh because it was newly created. So there's my Excel files. So I'm now mapping that file actually into a new application. So that's the element. We're going to add it to the up path as the last entry in there. So we're going to click OK. So from now on, we created that my Excel thing as a new mapped application. It looks to be like any of the other files that or folders that sits under the application folder, but in real life, it is in the C drive, just managed and mapped here. So if I can navigate there, you're going to see all the Excel sheets in there. So I can now, being a regular user, having access to that application folder, I can select plus, get data, go to Excel, and instead of navigating the file system, I can go to applications, to the application folders in here, and in here I see my Excel files. And from there, I could in here navigate and select those elements. So it's in my Excel folder. So actually there are the files. So let me double check what kind of file type I have in here. So actually in here, I open up one of those files. So in this file, it's not Excel, it's comma delimited, but same idea. So I can move over here. So it's a comma delimited file. So we can use comma delimited. If I want to access those comma delimited files, I can go to plus. Configure the delimited file adapter. So let's select it from here, select local. And now I can tell the system I want to get those files from my application folder. So we're going to take this file here, select OK. So we look into that folder. In here, we can now, of course, navigate. So I'm going to look into those folders. So it's going to check for the availability of files in that folder. So in here, you see it found all the files. I can set up some settings for the files as I want to. So I'm going to take this one in here, actually, in case you want to see the file. You can just simply double click on the file to get some information and test out the file. So you see it's comma delimited. So it's comma delimit. It doesn't have double quote. It has a single quote. So I can change that one to be single quote. Code page might be okay. I can check the CDN notation, but actually I like it as it is. And of course, in here, I can now select which application I want to put the master file into. So I'm going to put it into base up. And I select add. And that's an easy way to access files somewhere on the reporting server without copying or moving them into the application folder. So that mapping allows you to map locations that are not directly connected to the WebFOCUS system. So that works for CSV files. Of course, instead of the CSV files, we can go to my drive, go to the retail sample, because if you want to get to some samples, there's some nice samples in here. So I go for XLS files and search for all those in that folder. So you see those are the files. So there's that target account. So we can copy target accounts. So same thing that worked for the CSV files. You're going to go to IBI, my Excel files. We already mapped that one. So we now have that file, the target accounts in here. So like we did with the comma delimited file, we can go to get data. We can now select Excel, select our newly mapped file. It finds the Excel file. I select that one. I'm going to be able to work with my target account element, so put it into base up as well. And that's the easy and straightforward way to get people access to files that are not yet on the application path. So created those. Again, if you look into your application folders, go to IBI, apps, which is the file. In base up, we created those information. So there's the target account thing. Of course, we can go over here, go to base up. There's my target account thing. I can open that one up. And there's the master file pointing to my Excel file with a preview of the data. So in here, of course, we can go to properties. And in here, you're going to see it's referring to the data set, but there's no C whatever in here. It only refers to that virtual mapped directory. So if I move the files around on the system, I just have to change the mapping and I don't have to move around the files. So looking at the configuration, I'm going to go over here and go to the configuration of WebFOCUS, go to the configuration files. If you want to see the app map somewhere in your files, it's on the EDA as prof. And in here, you see there's the up mapping thing, the up map logic, and that's all you have to do to map a folder somewhere on the tree. So if I, for whatever reason, decide to change my C drive location, so let's say from today on, I have to move my files from C to D, because C is for operating system only. So I'm going to take that my Excel thing here, copy it, go to the E drive. I'm gonna go to IBI, put it in here. So the only thing I would have to do actually is go in here. So actually, remember, we put it under CIBI, EIBI, my Excel. So we're just going to change that part here. The only thing you have to be aware of, change the slashes from the backward to the forward slash, save it. And now that I moved all the files, that's all I had to do. And from now on, if I go back to my elements in here, so there's my target account thing or my retail customer PP, I can in here go sample data. You see, it's finding those data, not moving the files around because it's only based on that app map command.